Hi everyone, Tracy here. Today I'm going to share with you my version of the Smash or your junk journal. I know lots of you have made them with this composition notebooks, and I bought 3 of them here for my daughters. I'm going to make them each one, but I didn't buy myself one of these books. And we're going away on a trip to Montana, so I wanted to have them for that. Actually, we're leaving in about 6 hours and I haven't even gone to bed yet. So anyways, I had one of these kind of binders or books on hand because I keep all my layouts and ideas and stuff like that. So this is like a junk journal or a smash book, I guess, but this just has layouts in it. This is my second one. I've had a few over the years. I just keep adding more and more. So anyways, I had one of these books, so I thought I'd make my own, and I got one of these from Brenda. Brenda sent me this. Thank you very much. I can't wait. Obviously, I haven't even used it yet. And I also picked us each up one of these pens for my girls and I. And I will show you the inside. I'm leaving this here because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not. So I can just rip it out when I'm done. So what I did was I stamped on one page, and I couldn't crinkle up the pages. I know a lot of you have done that and it looks really good, but I just can't do that. I'm just too rigid, I guess. And so I have to have all my pages flat, but I did ink around the edges. And what I did was I put pattern paper on the other side. And there's 2 reasons for that. 1, because it looks pretty. And 2, you probably can't notice, but they're perforated here. The pages, each page is perforated. So actually when I glued the paper on, I glued it over the perforation, so it also acts as a stabilizer so it doesn't rip off. So I would stamp on one side, and then on the next side I'd add the paper. And this one's kind of fun because I can color those in also. And another reason I like the paper on the opposite side is if I decide to use some of my Copics to color or draw, then if they go through, it should be okay. And if it isn't, oh well, so be it. But I just couldn't crumple up the pages. The closest I got to was inking around them. And so I never filled them all in. I'm going to fill the rest up when we go on our trip. Like I said, this was like last minute. I know I had like how many months to actually prepare for this, but that's just how I am. I'm the world's best procrastinator because I procrastinate like crazy. And what I do to ink the edges is when I ink them, I just offset the first one just a little bit. And I wish I had my sponge here because I just use a makeup sponge. And so I sponge so the ink also goes on the page I want it to be on and the next page. And as you can see, these ones haven't been done yet, but these ones all have. So I'm excited to work on this, and I'll show you my progress. What I'm going to do is probably every day we're on our trip, I'm probably going to post it on my blog, post each page on my blog as I go along. And I hope I'm making sense because it's really, really late and I have to get up in a few hours for a nice 8.5-hour drive. So there you go. That is my version. And there's lots of different versions on YouTube right now. And when I come back from my trip, I will show you the completed version. Hi everyone, Tracy here. Well, we're back from our trip. We're back from Montana, and it is gorgeous there. It's kind of funny because when we went over the border, the American Border Patrol had asked us where we were going, and when we told her Montana, she kind of looked at us like, why would you want to go there? And we says, well, we've never been there before, and it's supposed to be beautiful. I'm like, well, should we be changing our travel plans? But I don't know why she said that because it's stunningly gorgeous there. So I said I was going to share with you my travel journal, and here it is, and look at how thick it is, and I'm not even halfway through the book, so we'll see. I'm planning on using this for all our ongoing trips, but before I show you inside, I'm just going to give you some tips on what helped me, or what would have helped me a little bit better keeping track of everything when we were traveling. And so the first thing I did was I bought this on our travels, this little case, and it's for school supplies and that, but the journal fit in here in the net part, And then in the back there's zippers, and I would keep recipe cards, because if you know me, I love using recipe cards on everything. And I would stick a pen in there and whatever else I could think of. And that's what I would keep the travel journal in. And I always travel, no matter if it's to camp for the weekend or on a weekend holiday somewhere. I always bring a whole bunch of bags filled with magazines and stuff to work on. I can't travel without my crafts, seriously. My husband calls me a bag lady because I always have at least 2 of them. And he's like, can't you travel without those things? And honestly, no, I can't. I have to have paper with me when I go. So the second thing I did was I put together this little travel journal bag, and I put in here things that I used along the way, like I inked all my edges, and I like to ink everything with, I think I used a vintage photo. And here's my sponge. I put this in a little plastic bag just so nothing else would get all dirty. And then I put the Tim Holtz, the Distress ink, in here. It's out because I've used it since then. And then I used my pen is in there. And along the way, because along our travels, because this pen, some of the things that I used the adhesive on fell off, so I needed better adhesive. So I bought this, and I have to say that this did not work very good. I ended up taking the thing apart and actually just using the tape itself and then peeling it off, because this thing would guck up, it wouldn't roll properly. Hopefully it was just a flaw. I've never used this stuff before, and I probably won't be using that again. And also on our travels, I found some of this, they call it Wonder Tape, but it's that red sticky adhesive, because some of the pockets in that I put on, you know, you need something heavy to hold it on. So I used that. And then before I left, well, this is some stuff along the way, but before I left, I threw a whole bunch of like these tags and these journaling tags, the bigger ones. These are left over. These aren't supposed to be in there. These are left over from the trip. And yeah, and so I just put some tags in there, and some of these ones with the string on them. And then of course scissors. And also on our travel, I also found some of this, I guess for the Smash Journal, and it's the tape, and that worked really good for certain areas in here too. So like I said, I packed a lot of these up before we went, because you know you need scissors and stuff like that. So this is a must, and it keeps everything together so you're not digging in the bottom of your bag for something when you need it. And then another tip I have for you, because we were gone for 8 days, as I was traveling, I was realizing everything was getting thrown into one bag, and I couldn't distinguish, like the whole hotel key cards say, I couldn't distinguish what they were from which hotel. So I went to, I don't know, Walmart, Target, one of those stores, and I bought, these are clear pencil cases, I guess, for kids' pencil cases, obviously, for school. So what I did was I labeled each one. I bought 8 of them, and I labeled each one. So this is day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on. And then at the end of the day, or as we were traveling, I would throw some stuff in each day's bag that corresponded with that day in here to just keep everything organized, because my goal was to work on it every single night when we were done and at the hotel. And you know what, that really didn't work. Some nights I was just too tired, or my daughter, she did that every night. Christy, my youngest, she did hers, and it was done for the next day. But me, I have to critique everything, and I'm a procrastinator. So I had a few days that I did right then and there, but most of them were a couple days later. So this is good for that. So you can put all your stuff in there. And I think that's all the tips I have for you. And as we were traveling, I always buy some scrapbooking stuff, because I always like to check out new scrapbooking stores. So I bought some papers and stuff like that along the way, and I also used it in there. Now, I don't know how long this video is, because I'm going to put this one together with the one I did before I left. So I'm going to start a new one, and I'll show you the actual insides of my travel journal. So thanks for joining me. Bye now.